Hi everyone, welcome back to TAYFam. My name is Levi, and today's episode is going to be called Fit Check, the real talk on fashion. I'm going to have everyone go around and share their name and what school they go to. So starting off with me, my name is Levi, and I go to Stanford High School, and I'm a junior and intern here at TAYFam.
I'm Galle. I'm a junior as well, and I go to Redwood High School, and I'm also an intern here at Tay Radio.
I'm Derrick. I'm a UC Merced undergraduate.
What are you majoring in?
Business and management.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm Javier, been a Tay Radio host, and I'm here also running the internship this fall semester. We're running towards the end here, but I'm really excited to be on with you guys and talk about fashion. I love it.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for sharing. I'm going to start off with a quick icebreaker. So if you guys were a food, what kind of food would you be and why?
If I was a food, it's an interesting question, Levi. Gal, you look ready. You have the
Do I?
eyes of looking ready, yeah.
Maybe a hamburger, because I sort of like a lot of different things all over the place. So like each ingredient individually doesn't really do anything, but when you combine them all together into one hamburger, that makes one. So I'm very well-rounded, I'd say.
Derrick, how about you?
Low-key, I think I'd be like a taco.
All right.
Yeah, it's like chill, but you can like add more stuff to it, make it like a little more spicy, I guess.
I like it. Honestly, I was also thinking probably like some kind of Mexican food, but I'd probably have to go with like a burrito. I mean, I like burritos. I feel like you can make a burrito either, like for me, because like I fluctuate so much on like what I wear and what I do. I feel like with a burrito you can have so much variety with how you go about it, right? Sometimes you could just have like a bean burrito, like bean and cheese burrito, which is super basic. I never get bean and cheese burritos. But if or you could just go all out and get like a super deluxe burrito with like guacamole, sour cream, and it's, sometimes I want to go all out, sometimes I don't. So I'd say a burrito. Yeah.
If I was a food, I feel like it changes like, and every time I answer this question, but I feel like I'd be like a cup noodles because like they're really instant and like you can eat them anywhere and like they're just like I feel like connected to me, I guess. It's like I can change my energy really quick and like like I can go from being really like low and calm to like being really energetic, and it kind of combines with that. And I think they're loved worldwide, and I hope to be liked by a lot of people.
I like it. Very well said.
Yeah, but we're gonna jump into our first segment about fashion. Questions for everybody. My first question is, how would you describe your personal style in 3 words?
I would say, okay. I guess I could start. I could say, spontaneous, chill, and dark. I like dark colors.
I see.
Yeah,
Good choice.
that's what I would say.
You low-key stole like 2 of mine. I was gonna
Oh,
say.
but damn, it's fine.
No, but sorry. I was gonna say loose or relaxed, comfortable, and I guess also dark. I'm not wearing anything dark right now, but usually I have like some black on. So yeah.
Maybe like comfy, as you said, basic, but on occasion a little old money.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know. On occasion.
I like that. Okay. How about you, Levi?
That's so funny. I feel like for me it'd be, I think I'd always cute. Yeah, I think pretty basic too. I try to do basic and comfortable.
Great.
I think we all have similar kind of tastes.
I think one thing I saw that was similar with everyone was like we all kind of just like comfortable clothes, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing about fashion, right? Is feeling comfortable with what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And then also, we'll delve deeper into it, but fashion is a way of like showing confidence or feeling confident in your own skin, right? Because you can really express yourself with clothing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for touching on that. That kind of delves into my next question about why do you think that fashion matters today to young people or to people in general? And anyone can answer this.
Derrick, looks like you wanna chip in here. Go for it.
I was gonna say, I think it's important because like a lot of people are like on TikTok and seeing like trends and stuff, and like a lot of people like just like I guess associate like their clothing to like what they see and stuff. So yeah, like I think like a lot of young people are like more into fashion than like I guess like our parents were and stuff. So yeah.
Well said. How about you, Galle?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a lot about like staying on top of the trend and like sort of being a part of society, like playing a part that you want to play. But also, I guess just kind of sometimes my friends get certain things because everyone else is. So there's like two sides to it, right? Like what you want to do and then what other people want. So like, I don't know which way is better, but I think a lot of people have a mix of both. Like a lot of people at high school have like a lot of the same clothes, like college sweatshirts, or like for girls, they also wear a lot of the same things. And I feel like to them, it just matters to like be a part of a community and like interact with each other in the same like clothing, dressing. But like back then it was very different, right? Because people were like, you know, wearing more formal and like a lot more like handmade, you know, clothes like way back then.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of changed.
Yeah, I would say I think that among you especially, guys, like you guys are the young people. Like what I've seen and observed over the years is that people are just so much more creative with their clothing now. And it seems like TikTok and social media is playing a big part in making that, and people seeing like trends. Also, I mean, I've always really kind of known about fashion. I really got into fashion probably when I was like my junior, senior year, because that's when I really got into like Tyler the Creator. And Tyler the Creator is an artist who like expresses himself a lot through fashion. Same with like Frank Ocean and all that. I was part of like the whole Odd Future like collective when they were just starting, and they were a big brand with artists, especially is their clothing, like what they wear, right? And I think a lot of youth are influenced by that kind of stuff too. Same with like right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of like with the all black fits with Opium and all that with Playboy Cardi and Troy Only's like fandom and stuff like that. You can see some like, are there people that dress like that at your guys' school? Like at your schools, like that dress all black with all the chains and all different like.
I know. Yeah, my old friend group used to have like a bunch of like people that dress like that, and like it was like all right, like you do you.
Okay.
I mean, it's changing subcultures as well. Like, because you mentioned music, and like that's just like another big factor. And yeah, like you're mentioning so many artists, and I feel like a lot of people also like associate their clothing with artists in ways that they don't realize.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, like, do you guys think you've ever been like judged, misunderstood by some of the clothing that you've worn?
Yeah. I was gonna say, initially, like, I was more of like, well, I'm not saying like I'm like on top of like clothing and stuff like that, but I guess like a couple of years ago, like, I was like wearing more like Air Forces, more like straight fit jeans, just like regular clothing, I guess. But I was like, I really want to like do something for myself that is gonna like, I guess like give me like some like confidence. So I started like putting on these Doc Martens. They're like platform ones. And initially like my friends were like, oh, like that's like pretty weird, and they were like making fun of me and stuff, and like it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But like, yeah, like just like wearing something that people aren't used to is like something that happens, I guess, often.
Super well said.
I'm gonna go into like some of the more deep stuff already, which is like I kind of tend to wear sweatpants a lot now because I've like a couple of birthmarks on my legs, and so like when I used to just wear shorts, a lot of people would like question like what are those and like kind of make fun, but like kind of like subtly. So I just decided like I don't know, a few years ago just to like get more into like longer clothes and like jeans and stuff like that. So like, you know, kind of deep, but I kind of just only have mostly longer pants now, and that's just kind of what I wear. And I'm not like embarrassed or anything that much anymore, but I just like am used to it. I mean, on a hot summer day like today, I probably should have worn shorts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks both. I think what you guys said was great. What I really took from that too is, well, for me, when I was in high school, I went on a trip to Japan, and I knew going into this trip to Japan, I really wanted to like experiment with colors, especially. I think one thing is that within the Latino community, I feel like specifically, like I feel like we're really trapped into these certain colors or certain styles that we're supposed to look a certain way. But with the artists, the music, and all the influences that I had at the time, I was like, I want to wear like, I don't know, like some like a colorful shirt, like, you know, like pastel colors.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to wear pastel colors. I don't wear all that stuff anymore, but it was just a different time because also in Japan, like, you know, they have the whole Harajuku style, where it's like super colorful and super. And I think that stuff is like really beautiful to see in person. So I felt like more comfortable experimenting with myself, like my clothing, like experimenting with these lighter colors and stuff, because I was in Japan, in a country where fashion can be so different, right? And has so many different subcultures of fashion and all that. So I felt really comfortable there. And I still kind of dress like that throughout my initial years of college. But after that, I kind of stopped thinking too much about. I felt like I was definitely judged by my friends, like for sure, because all my other friend groups, they're not into fashion at all. They're just like, why are you wearing like a colorful blue shirt? It just looks weird, you know what I mean? I'm like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like people are gonna judge whatever, but at the same time, it made me feel like different. At least, like I felt like I was able to like, I don't know, stand out in a way where I felt like comfortable with it. So yeah.
Wait, could I go back to like what he said?
Yeah, go ahead for it.
Yeah. I guess like for me too, like I was more on like, I guess like the skinnier side, like growing up, and so I'd be wearing more like long sleeves, more jeans and pants to like cover up myself, and like I guess like around people, like be kind of like, I guess like common to be like, oh, like you're like really like skinny and stuff, and like I mean it was tough, and like I guess I like put on like bigger clothing to like cover myself, but I mean it's just something that I guess followed me and stuff, and like I guess even today I go out and like I'm wearing jeans and they're like, damn, it's like hot, but it's just like something I'm used to now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, that's great what you just shared, because on a personal level too, for me, middle school, I was very overweight, so I didn't feel very comfortable wearing really different types of clothes. Yeah. And I'd be that kid that would wear a sweater when it's like blazing hot, because I just felt super self-conscious about taking off my sweater and just having like a normal shirt, right? Because, and that happens a lot with, it's so interesting hearing your perspective too, as someone who's been seen as too skinny or being skinny, and seeing it from a different perspective, right? Because like I said, like for me, like being overweight really made me not want to delve into fashion or anything. But luckily when I was in high school, I lost a lot of weight, so I was able to experiment, like feel more confident in my body and be able to experiment more. So very good point on both of you guys. That was great.
Yeah, I like how you guys mentioned pants a lot. I feel like that's a big subject throughout history too.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, like a lot of women weren't like traditionally allowed to wear pants and stuff. And like, right? Like I'm pretty sure this is true, and you know, I feel like over time stuff changes and so many like people change their clothing, and I feel like for me, when it's like about being judged or misunderstood, I feel like I don't wear a lot of baggy jeans and stuff. Like I prefer leggings and stuff, because I think when I grew up, like I kind of had like, I was kind of more like, I had more hips than a lot of my friends and stuff, so I wouldn't want to wear like stuff that would make me, because to me it made me feel self-conscious about my body. I was like, oh, it makes me look like boxier, it doesn't fit me, it doesn't fit my body type. So I decided to make a change that would be like, oh, like this fits better for my style of body. So I wanted to delve deeper into that rather than change myself and try to look like my friends that are constantly wearing baggy stuff. And it feels more comfortable as well. I like tighter clothes and they feel comfortable.
I wanted to add what you just said right now. I think it's great. And one thing that I've noticed among younger people like you guys is that Y2K is super in right now. So like, you know, like that kind of like early 2000s look, which had a lot of baggy jeans and stuff. I love it. I think it's so cool that there's that style's coming back. I think it's a really cool style. But at the same time, yeah, I agree. Dressing for your body type is always like like the number one thing whenever I'm choosing clothes, right?
Yeah.
So as someone who's on the shorter side, I can't like I look super small if I start wearing baggy jeans or baggy clothes. Like I just look smaller than I am, right? So I don't usually go for baggier stuff. I usually like a bit more like athletic fit type clothing, where it's like suit. And then you know, one thing that I've looked into and I've realized is that they also make cropped T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that way, like it doesn't look like because as a smaller person, it's like having these different like a medium won't fit me exactly the way I would want it because it's too long on the bottom or something. But if it's like everything else fine. So what ends up happening is like I've heard some people get a lot of their clothes tailored, and I heard that actually is pretty common. People like tailor their clothes to fit them better, which I think is great. And also like on websites like Depop and stuff like that, people are always asking for like measurements of all shirts, because that's the other thing too. All these sizes for these different clothes doesn't fit all the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you know, like a large might fit more like a medium in a certain brand or things like that.
Yeah, like I'm always like on the border between like a small and a medium. So like depending on what I get changes so much, like which size I should get, depending on like the brand or like, you know, just the type of shirt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of annoying.
Oh yeah, it's super annoying.
Tailoring can also be really expensive, I heard, sometimes. I think it depends where you go, but it's kind of nice to do it at home. I mean, I don't know how to sew, but
Yeah.
I mean,
To do it yourself
yeah.
is great. Yeah. I think it's a good skill to have.
And right now we have a guest that sews their clothing and tailors their own stuff. So Derrick, what inspired you to start sewing and making your own clothes?
What inspired me? It started like with my dad. I was writing. Well, it didn't start like when I'm saying this story, but it started like previously. But I think like a impactful moment was like writing for like school, and just like talking about my dad and like how he was like basically working in a sweatshop and like sewing clothes, and like to him it was like a job to like have like my mom and I, and like I guess like try to be stable, and like we were like in LA, so he's like down in like the fashion district, just sewing like every day.
Yeah.
And it was like worked for him, and I would ask him and he'd be like, oh, like I didn't really like it, but it's like we'll put like food on the table, you know. And like for me it was like it shouldn't be like that for him. Like it should be something that like he should also take pride in, you know, and like be happy about. So I was like, my dad is like someone who inspired me. So I'd be like, oh, like how do you do this? And like he low-key didn't really teach me, but he like taught me how to like thread like a machine, and that was like where I started. And like I had like a machine from like my aunt who also used to do sewing. She doesn't anymore, but she had like a machine and she gave it to me, and so I just started to like sew whatever I could find. Like if it was like a t-shirt, I like sew it. If it was like some thrifted jeans, I'd sew it.
Wow.
And it was just like little things like that. And like yeah, my dad was like a big inspiration. And also like 2020, when we were all like inside for quarantine, like TikTok was like blowing up like massively, and like a lot of people were like talking about clothes. So that was also like a big inspiration for me. And yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, just to add to what you said, I think that's super cool story. I mean, similar. Well, I don't know how to sew, or I don't know how to tailor any of that stuff. But also similar story. I remember seeing my mom do a lot of. She knew how to use like a sewing machine, and I remember she'd always make like clothes sometimes for like my brother, and growing up, and sometimes that was the only option we had at some point was to make clothes that way. So it was always really cool seeing my mom do that, and it's cute. My mom like texted me the other week that like, look, I just bought a new sewing machine. Like she just had like excited about it because it's something that she enjoys doing too. And you know, it's probably something I definitely want to learn it at some point. But adding to what you just said, Derrick, what so do you make like custom pieces, like, or like what's kind of like this? I'll just start there.
Initially, like I just started to like, well, I had like t-shirts, and I would see people like wearing like, I guess like certain types of like shirts, and I'd be like, oh, like that would be cool to get, but I just had like regular like t-shirts, and like a regular like blank t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, like I want to sew that to like fit me a certain way and like crop it or like slim it, and like that's where I started to like sew by hand, and I was doing it like initially by hand, and like that took like a long time, so that's when I got the machine. And wait, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
No, that makes sense. It's just like you. So you kind of starting. I was wondering, like, so you basically you are making custom pieces for yourself.
Yeah, I guess. So I started like with clothes I had that weren't fitting me like how I wanted it to fit, and then I started to like, I went into more of like a workwear like type of fit. My jeans would start getting like messed up really quickly, so I would start to like sew like the bottoms of them so it could like last me longer, and also just to like embroider stuff into my jeans. So that's like how I started, and then like eventually I started getting like more like garments and like thrifting clothes to like put together, and just like making like some pieces that like I could wear and stuff.
Super cool. Galle, did you have anything to add?
How long does it take you to make like a piece of clothing or garment?
It depends. It's like well, I guess it's like art. Like sometimes you have like a mental block, you know, and like it could be hard to like continue, but usually it takes like a month.
Oh wow.
Like I'm also in school, so it would take some time to like do things, but like not recently, but I made like a plushie like around this size, and this was like taking me like I think like 2 weeks ish to make, and it was like hard, but I mean, it was by hand, so I mean it took me some time.
The whole plushie by yourself? What was like the material needed for?
It was like some fluffy fabric, like 2 yards of it.
Okay.
Well, I got 2 yards because I was like afraid I would mess up, but I really just needed like this much probably. And it was that much, some like thread, a needle, and some like eyes, and that was it.
Just like buttons.
Yeah, buttons too, and just like going to work.
What was it, like a bear?
Yeah, it was a bear.
Okay, cool.
So that took me like some time, but I feel like with the machine, it would have probably taken me like a day, maybe. Wow. So it depends on like what you use, and also like if you're doing it from scrap, and like making like your own like I guess like your own stencil, like your own like blueprint.
Yeah,
it would take longer to like get out measurements and like actually like put it onto like your fabric, like say like denim. Making like jeans from start would take longer. One of my jeans took like 2 months, I think. It was like a summer thing I was doing last year. So yeah.
Wow. I gotta see these. I gotta see these.
Yeah. I remember because you talked about custom pieces, and you also have this like icon. It's like a logo for like a bunch of the stuff he does. It's like a monkey. And I remember I asked, because a lot of his friends and like a lot of my friends ask to embroider like the monkey on a shirt and stuff. Yeah, because it's a really cool like logo.
Here, hold it up to the camera here.
Wait, I'm gonna try my best. And then if you guys
actually, I can hold it up to the camera from this angle. But yeah, it's a really cool sketch. Do you have a name for your do you have your name for your company, or not your company, but your kind of clothing line? Here, if you switch
like
to
the character.
Yeah.
Switch to the other camera. There we go. Yeah, it's like that monkey design. You can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, the monkey has a name. It's just monkey without a Y. It's like monkey. Yeah, monkey.
Oh, like monkey.
Yeah.
Oh,
and this started this was like my freshman year of high school, I think. So like, it was like years ago, and like.
So you've had this idea since.
Yeah.
Long ago now. Wow.
So I mean that started with like a history project, and I was writing about like, I guess like art throughout like history, and like the monkey was like something that just came to mind. It's not like super unique. Like sometimes it gets confused with like Homer.
Yeah.
But it's pretty nice. It's something I just doodle and like also put onto my clothes.
Yeah.
Love it.
And you don't sell your clothes on any platform, correct?
Yeah, I don't sell it. Initially I was gonna do that like years ago, but I was afraid like if I start making it more into like a job or like work, I'll start to like, I guess, fall out of love with like sewing.
So like a true artist, like a true artist.
Yeah, but I was scared of that, so I didn't sell it. And like I guess like one of my first like things was like my friend was like, oh like could you please like make these into like a flared type of jeans? I was like, all right, like you don't really need to pay me. He's like, no, like I'll pay you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's
dude,
all right.
It's definitely good to make your, because that's talent, you know, and that it's good to put worth into your talent as well. You don't want to just give your, because that's hard work, dude. Not just anyone can do something like that. So glad your friend's able to give you some money and yeah.
I mean, it was fun. Like just like giving him updates and like being like, oh look, and he'd be like, oh damn,
It's
this
looking
is
great.
coming up.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the final product? Did he like it a lot?
Yeah, he was like enjoying it. He would write
Yeah.
to school and they'd be like, oh, like, where'd you get that? Like,
Yeah.
because of the monkey.
Uh-huh.
And he'd be like, oh, like, actually, my friend embroidered it and like added like the panels and made it more like into a flare type of jeans. They'd be like, oh, that's sick. So yeah.
Cool.
It's nice. And a question for everyone, since we're like tying it to like school and like how people view us.
Sure.
What do you think is the line, or what's the line between being influenced by someone's style versus like copying someone's style? What do you guys think? What's the line?
Honestly, okay, I'll start off by saying I don't think there's anything wrong with like looking up, because people, I think it's super common. Fashion magazines exist for a reason, right? People look at fashion magazines to get inspiration. So I think that it's a misconception to say like copying someone else's outfit is like a bad thing. I think the better word here is influence. It's like you get influence from all these different things, because there's sometimes where I'll just like I'll just go on like Pinterest or something and be like, oh, blah 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 outfit. Like I'll put like black shorts or like hat or like summer hat, or like male ideas or something like that. And then sometimes I use TikTok to look at outfits, but I'm more of like a visual like image person, and then seeing like visualizing it on myself. I don't know. Also looking at like reviews of certain products, and also like I will follow people who are like closer to my height.
Yeah.
And I can see like, oh, okay, we have similar builds. I can kind of see myself in that outfit and kind of get an idea of how it would fit me.
Yeah.
Do you look for people with like a similar like skin complex or like ethnicity, or do you think it doesn't really matter who's wearing it?
So honestly, for me, I don't really see. I'm lighter skinned, so it's like I don't think I see that too much as an issue personally for me. But I know that there's definitely people who view like people with skin tones to better match, because skin tones is also another thing that factors a lot about what you wear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that too, because I think I touched on based on this like a couple days ago, but skin tone also plays a role in like makeup and stuff. Like you can't, like a different makeup looks different.
On different skin tones.
Looks different on different skin tones.
Like color, it's all about color.
It's all about color. Oranges maybe oranges, yellows, all of that looks better on maybe darker skin, more purples and darker blues would look better on lighter skin. And there's nothing really better. Anyone can wear any color they want.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
I mean, sometimes it's just like looking for what you think is the best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where influence comes into play, right? It's like you see that how it would look on someone with this skin tone and be like, okay, my skin tone's close to that. It'll look like this, right? How about you, Derrick?
About copying it
And or
being influenced.
yeah.
Like what are your thoughts on influence?
I guess like y'all were talking about this earlier, and like artists, I guess like artists like Ye, Cardi, those are like people who are like influencing like I guess like fashion right now for like a lot of young people, and like I guess like people just take a lot of inspiration from like the opium wave and stuff like that. Like you can't really I guess like copy his fit sometimes, but trying to like emulate it and like I guess like something important people like, I guess, protect often is like the history behind like clothing. So like people are like, oh, like you're dressing goth, but then like goth people are like, they're not like goth, and like that's like
Yeah.
a
Like
common thing.
you start getting into you start getting into like posers.
Yeah.
People who dress a certain way just because they like the style, but it's not
Yeah.
because they're part of that certain movement. Same with like punk people, right? You can dress like what people perceive as punk, and then just not be the like an even subtler version of that is when people wear band shirts that they don't listen to.
Yeah.
The Nirvana, like the
Yeah,
Nirvana
Pink
smiley
Nirvana.
face.
Yeah.
Pink
Like-
Floyd.
Pink Floyd, yeah. The thing is, I'm a huge Pink Floyd and
Yeah,
Nirvana
same.
fan. So like growing up and going to middle school, like no one listened to Pink Floyd at all when I was in middle school. I was like one of the few, and then I'd see girls wearing Pink Floyd shirts, and I'm like, I'm sure you haven't listened to Dark.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can't wear that. But
No, but I wouldn't get keep like that. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. People can wear whatever, but
yeah,
that's like a subtler way of being a poser or looking like a poser with your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think, Galle?
I mean, I think that like influence like isn't a bad thing. Like I think that's like what sets trends, and that's what like changes what people wear. So I feel like being influenced by someone's style or copying it is completely normal, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I think you shouldn't really like feel bad if even you're copying someone that you look up to from school or an influencer. Like that's just like normal. Like everyone does that. There's not really that many people that just have their own like unique original style, because everyone kind of has a very similar style anyway.
Like I feel there's always gonna be a person who's gonna say, "Oh, you look like so and so."
Yeah.
Your outfit reminds me of so and so.
That's just like
it's just gonna
It's
always
not-
happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even like unintentionally. I guess.
Unintentionally, exactly.
Yeah. I think for me, like, the line is, I don't know much about lines. I feel like when I try to change my style, it's always, I'm always being influenced by someone, whether it's like a content creator I look up to or something. My hair too. I feel like I've dyed my hair like every single color there is, and it's just always constant change with how I am, how I want to grow, and finding myself and how I think I look the best. And like when you touched about Harajuku, like their fashion, I know when I like last year when I went to Japan, and I went to the Harajuku district.
Yeah.
Like there was like so many people, and I was like the same thing as you. Like I was in awe, and I,
Like, wow.
I tried. Like I experimented with colored contact lenses, with like blonder hair dye, and I was changing myself up a lot. And
It's fun.
yeah, it's
a lot
very
of fun.
fun to try something different, and I would never put someone down for wanting to try something different. And I think that's why I can't really know where the line is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, jumping into the next question. Do you guys feel like fashion is becoming more inclusive of body types? Why or why not? Kind of touching on what we were talking about earlier about body types.
Well, I feel like online it's all about like the models, and I feel like very recently a lot of the famous brands have been utilizing models of all types, of different sizes, of different races. And so I feel like that's like kind of a message to the fashion community that like anyone can wear anything, and certain styles aren't just designed for certain types of people. And I feel like overall I've seen online just more inclusivity. So like
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to add to that about
When you say that, do you mean like on social media?
yeah,
or
just like the models in general that you see on ads and that
Yeah.
you see when you like scroll through like a website of like Nike or any brand basically. It's like kind of a new thing that's showing up. And I know back then, like even in the 90s or 2000s, a lot of the models were like this very select
Like-
you had to be a very select person. And,
like I know what you
yeah.
mean. Like in the 2000s, it was very like chic, like Paris Hilton type
Yeah,
of look, and yeah.
that's all they had, or I mean mostly what they had.
What do you guys think?
Derrick,
Yeah.
go for it.
I was gonna say something similar to like what he said. It was like back then, or not like back then, but like when I was younger, not like very young, but like I'd go into like stores and like I guess like you go into Abercrombie and you see like a lot of like similar men like on the walls and like a certain build, and like now it's like changing, and like I went into like a different store like a couple months ago. I saw someone like a model who had like I guess like very similar features to mine, and I was like, oh, like that's pretty cool. Like I didn't expect to see someone like, I guess like similar to myself, and it was kind of like nice to see that, and I could see how like other people can be inspired.
Yeah.
So I think like what he was saying, like more brands are pushing out like more like different people, more different like sizes and stuff. I guess like empowering like different types of people, because it's not just like one line of people that should be like represented in like, I guess like the ideal, you know.
Ideal person, right?
Yeah.
I agree. I think also growing up for me, like I said, growing up overweight, seeing like a lot of the guys that were shown in fashion magazines, it's like, oh, they'd have abs or have more. It's like more athletic build guys, like more like stronger looking guys. Like, so that's what a lot of the clothes would look like. And I'm like, okay, well, I look nothing like that. So it's like, to me, it was just like, it was discouraging. Honestly, it made me feel like crap. I was like, well, to me, it was like, it was hard to like want to wear something else or something, because I was just like, well, you know, I don't look like that. And I think that's also what's going on right now with social media as well. Like people comparing themselves so much to their body types with other body types. Yeah. But I think right now we are seeing a much more diversification of body types in general, right? So, I mean, there's a whole plus size section at Target and I think like major retailers now, which I think is awesome. And I think it's great that there's also plus size for guys now too. Dude, there was no plus size, like even pictures of plus size models and stuff. And there's like a whole section for it. Like, you know, like someone who I'm not really a fan of his music, but I think he like dresses like in a way where I think it is actually positive for like other bigger guys, is like DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
You know, he like dresses very interesting. You know, he has like
he's like he's his own.
He's
like
dripped out. He's like dripped out. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's cool. Yeah. I don't like his music, and I don't think he's like the greatest person in the world. But I think what he does in terms of an image from a big guy's perspective, it's huge. I think that's great. Also, like a lot of the rappers who are like on the bigger side, they're not afraid to dress super fancy and super dripped out, which I think is really cool.
And they're like confident about it too.
Super confident about it. Absolutely. Yeah.
And like touching base on that, like I feel like I don't see a lot of like men's representation in like changing body types in fashion. Like I didn't know there was a plus size for men. I mean, there should be. But,
there's plus size clothing for men.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, I think confidence comes with a lot of fashion and what you wear. Like, do you guys think, you know, like how you can find like a good enough like kind of clothing for your body types? Like, do you guys know like how to find good clothes for you? Or like, how do you guys think would be the best way to dress yourselves?
I think Derrick could answer this question.
Yeah, for me, or like what I go with is like just like whatever fits my waist.
It all comes down to the waist.
Yeah. But I guess like from there it's like depends on like what I'm feeling, I guess. Like also like to my body, because like different people have different body types. And like I wouldn't really want to have like gigantic like jackets.
Sleeves or big jacket, like baggier jacket,
and like really super skinny jeans. Like I don't think that would look good for me, so I'd probably go for like more like straight jeans, just to like balance things out for myself, because that's how I like it. But also like I do like to experiment sometimes. So I guess like one of like my favorite shirts is like it's like an Ed Hardy shirt, and I like thrifted it, but it was like for women's, and I didn't know. But
I mean, it fits you.
Yeah, it fits me,
cool.
and like I like how it like, I guess like accentuates like myself as well. So I don't think I really have like a guideline for myself. It's just like what I find cool, because sometimes like I guess like as for me, it was like clothing like I thought was cool, but it was actually like for women. So
it's cool because you see it, especially among girls and women, is that they tend to also buy like guys' clothing all the time. I feel like that's way more common.
Yeah.
like girls wearing like guy shirts or like
Or
getting,
pants.
or getting like XL in guys to have that
Yeah.
super baggy look and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask everyone here actually because it just came up, and I
Yeah.
think since we're kind of running towards the end of the show here, is what would you guys recommend would be like a great starter essentials? What are your guys' essentials for clothing? Like if someone wants to start like from scratch and just start finding their styles, what would you recommend them to start with?
For me, I guess like I have like two important things, I guess. For me, it's like my shoes, cause like I mentioned earlier, like it was something that like I guess like brought me more confidence to myself. It was like definitely something I was like, if I wear this, like it'll be like a huge step into like my self-confidence and also like just like fashion. And so committing to actually wearing these shoes,
They're hard to break into, right? Doc Martens. They're like,
Yeah.
I know that the break-in period for them is like crazy.
yeah, it's crazy, but I guess like for me, I was just wearing them all the time, and like I was like I need to commit myself to this. So I'd go hiking in these shoes, play basketball in these shoes,
Oh, basketball.
Okay.
Cool.
and then just like walking like every day in these shoes. And now they like slip on. They're like comfortable, good for my feet. Like I don't feel like I'm like walking on like planks anymore.
Yes.
Well, I actually never felt that, but shoes are like important for me. Like they make me feel like comfortable, and like they're also a platform. I don't wear it to like boost my height, but it was mostly like it was like a different thing like for myself back then. And like if I wore it, like it was like if I could do this, I could do like more things.
How much do they cost, by the way?
Oh, these
Just
were
curious.
like they're like 200 with
Yeah, they're
tax.
pretty penny.
Yeah.
Pretty penny.
Yeah.
And I know from Doc Martens too, they have like different sole heights too. I think
Yeah.
styling. Because I know the boots are more common too. Like,
Yeah.
And also because it's talking about like materials, like that's like leather. So leather takes longer to like really fit with your feet.
Yeah.
And I've heard of people like double socking too, like
Yeah.
putting socks on
Yeah.
when doing the process, or people like hitting kind of like a baseball glove. You know, like a baseball glove. Sometimes you have to like get it worn out a little bit for it to really fit. But I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Also, like the staff there were like really cool. I think like the people like at the store. I feel like I'm talking
Where's the store at?
This was like I think I got it in Berkeley.
Oh, in Berkeley. Okay.
Yeah, I was just like cruising, and like one of the people working there was like, oh, like actually like, can you try these on for me? Like I want to see how they look on you. Like like this and that, and like I think that was like more encouraging to like step out and like do more, because like even other people were like, oh, like try this on, like even if you're not gonna buy it, like I'd want you to see it like yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like that's really dope. So I was like, I will commit to these. And then so yeah, like shoes are important to me, and like the second is like probably jewelry.
Yeah. We haven't touched on jewelry, but yes.
Just like having some pieces on you. Like for my chains, like I haven't taken them off in years. So those are like important to me.
Yeah.
How do you decide like which kind of like material, like gold or silver?
Oh, this is like connected to like my family, I guess. Like this like smaller chain right here. This was like a chain I used to wear like as a baby until I was like in middle school or something. And so I never took this one off. And it was like, it's like a rose and white and yellow gold. And like, I just wanted to like stick to it. So I got like the same like design, same material, just like bigger sizes. So yeah, it's just like sticking to gold was nice for me, just because like I grew up with this single chain.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What about you, Galle?
The question was like how
Like what
the essentials.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like I'm a very like simple like style guy, and I kind of focus first on money because like
Yeah.
I just try to like go for like just comfort and all that. But like if you were like starting out like a whole like wardrobe, I would recommend, I guess, just getting like some jeans and some really nice pants and stuff, and like just try them on and see what's good. And I think the jeans are like the basics, like for evereverybody.
Yeah.
Or for a lot of
Straight
people.
fit jeans, I think, are a good pathway.
Yeah.
Like just getting some straight fit jeans.
Yeah.
Because also with jeans too, the great thing is that they're very you want to look at you want to get for essentials. I think you want to look at clothes that you can like
versatile.
Yeah. Yes, that have versatility to them. Because another big thing that I've honestly been getting more into too is just layering. Like, I can't layer right now because it's the summer.
Yeah.
But during the when it's like colder or just like less hot, like layering levels things up, right? Like for example, Derek, with your chains, you have them all layered up and stuff, which is cool because it gives it a whole new unique look, right? Same with like clothes, like layering like a shirt with a jacket and then maybe putting on some jewelry to give it that more layering, right?
Yeah.
It makes you look more dynamic with your clothing, right? And then just speaking about jewelry, like I love jewelry too. Like I think jewelry is a really great way to like it's a very simple way to like just like make a outfit pop a bit more, right? Because it's just like it stands out. So I think it's a really cool way to also kind of start delving into more different types of experimentation with your fashion is jewelry.
Yeah.
Do you think like cologne or like even like the car that you drive plays a part in your like fashion or your look? Or like all those like accessories? Do you think that's like a part of your like image?
It's a really interesting question, Galle.
Yeah.
I'd say car wise, I don't think there's too much of a correlation. I feel like people who drive, I mean, I think there's no correlation with cars and cars and fashion can definitely go together, but I don't think in general it's like really too correlated. You guys could correct me if you.
I mean, I just like think of like a Rivian and I just think of like very specific type of like
I know what you
fashion or
mean.
like
I know what
person.
you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Drives like a Jeep or
Someone that drives a
has
Jeep.
Very like nature look to that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like that just falls maybe more under like stereotypes.
That's true.
No, we're just like, and it happens. But what was the other part you said?
Like cologne.
Oh, cologne. I've been wearing cologne since high school. That's when I really started wearing cologne. I really like colognes. I think colognes are also definitely another way. It's not really like something you see, but it definitely helps with like first impressions.
Yeah.
I think that's also another thing we didn't touch on this is like the first thing people see is you, like what you're wearing. So that's why fashion is also super important because it can make you feel and look a certain way already off of someone just looking at you.
It's like a first impression.
Very big on it is the first impression. Yeah.
Essentials for me, I think for girls, sweatpants, leggings, a hoodie. Depends. Or maybe a tank top. I like to style all of those in different ways. Could be leggings with tank top, sweatpants with a tank top. I feel like those are the basics I like to wear when I don't know. And like when it gets to like really stressful times in school, I don't really care what I wear. So it could really be anything. But yeah, everyone, that wraps up our Tay experience episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys next time.
Yeah. And thank you, Derrick, for being on the show with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Actually, so right before we kind of end, is there any do you have like an Instagram or something where people can find your clothing or anywhere online, or you don't post your clothing online?
I don't have socials.
Oh, you don't have socials? You don't do anything? Okay. Well, anyways, if anyone is ever interested in fashion or anything, you can always just DM us directly and we can get you into contact with Derrick here. Because like I said, I think what you're doing is really great, and I think people should be aware.
Super unique.
Super.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.